Hi, I'm Taylor. Welcome to Jimmy Don's YouTube channel. He can't do this stuff right, so I'm doing today's intro. We're talking about that movie that nobody really cares about, the Snyder Cut. Let's do it.
Perfect. How are we doing today, guys?
Fantastic.
Look, for people who don't know, you don't see the behind the scenes. I did my whole little intro thing and the whole thing, and I realized I didn't hit record.
Yeah, and then
I've only done like 100 of these videos. Yeah. So, guys, we were chatting. We've got Jeremey from Remy Q Studios on with us today, and as always, we've got Taylor. And as Taylor politely said, we are going to talk about the Justice League Snyder Cut movie today. It's coming out here on March 13th. And I don't know, I just wanted to talk about it with somebody because I'm interested, and nobody will probably watch this video. That would be my guess, but it's just something I wanted to talk about because you've got a movie, because I'm a big DC fan, right, guys? And, I get made fun of it, for it all the time, but I love DC. And so first I want to ask you, and Jeremy, I'll start with you. Like, what did you think about the original Justice League? Did you like it, or did you think it was trash?
No, I did. I actually did like it. I was, I guess, one of the few. So I can tell you I rank a lot of the comic book movies by certain fights that I've been anticipating. And when the Justice League goes up against Superman, when they bring him back, I've probably watched that 100 times. I mean, it was just amazing. And so that was something where, I understand that, with this new one, they're trying to reformat it a bit, but I was a bit of a fan for the first one.
What about you, Taylor? What did you think?
It was better than Dawn of Justice, but I thought it was still a heaping turd. So, What
didn't you like about it? Would you just think it was choppy, or?
DC's just such a hot mess with their movies, and they don't have a consistent. Not that you need a consistent thing like the MCU. The MCU gets a little too vanilla for my liking sometimes, but DC is just kind of they don't have a tone down quite right. And Snyder is kind of responsible for that. I think he had all these really dark and grim and gritty Superman, which Superman's not grim and gritty. Whatever you may say about him, he's kind of an optimist and the dream, and they made him grim, and then they try to carry that over into Dawn of Justice, and then Joss Whedon came on and mishmashed grim and gritty with Quippy and Aquaman and weird, somewhere on the spectrum, the Flash, and it was just bizarre, and it just didn't fit. Nothing just seemed to work in that one for me.
So the original movie, I guess, from everything I've read, they had a lot of script changes. There was a lot of different things happened, and then they shot the movie, and then they got to the post-production, and Snyder's daughter passed away.
Yeah. So
he stepped away, and then Whedon came in, and Warner Brothers got involved, and made him, because I guess he shortened the movie a whole lot, did a bunch of reshoots, and all that. So the new trailer came out. And, I thought, well, this looks cool. It's basically the same movie, but you can make any trailer look great, right? So this is apparently a 4-hour movie. And, they were going to bust it up, and I guess to 4 hours, 4 single shows, and just do the 4 hours that way. But then they decided, nope, we're going to do this. So, from what I saw in the trailer, you get Darkseid, which I think is awesome. I love Darkseid. I think he's cool. Jeremy, what are you kind of expecting out of this, out of this Snyder Cut? And what do you think? Do you think it'll be better? They did an extended version of Dawn of Justice, Batman versus Superman, which was actually a little bit better than the original because it gave some context and it gave some, a little more depth to Clark Kent and even Bruce Wayne as far as that goes. So, Jeremy, what are you kind of expecting from this?
I think that, the big thing about the movie is going to be if you're a Snyder fan or not. And one of the things that I think, even looking at it just from the outside in, he does have what seems to be a problem with fitting things into movie timing. You know what I mean? So that 4 hours really didn't surprise me. And it was the same thing with the extended for Dawn of Justice. And I think that, that may be just somewhere where he may fall short on it. He wants to put a lot into it. And Batman vs Superman was perfect indication of that. And again, that was another one that I enjoyed, but I mean, they had so many things that it's like they had to introduce the Justice League and introduce all these characters, and you had Doomsday and Lex Luthor and Wonder Woman. It was like, you literally had 4 movies that you smash into one, thing. So I think that for this one, I'm going to anticipate that it's going to link together a lot better than what we got. I really believe that what we got was something where it changed hands, and then you had a production company that said, "Hey, we got to roll this thing out. We want to get it the best that we can," and they just kind of did what they could with it. So I'm hoping that it does tie together a lot better. But I mean, 4 hours, it's kind of
It's a long movie. Taylor, what are you thinking? I mean, are you going to watch it?
I'll watch it. I mean, yeah, because what else are you going to do? We're all stuck in. There's
Right.
nothing else to do in this world, and so that's the thing that's going to be going for this movie. Is COVID still a thing? So people are going to be stuck at home, and they're like, I might as well watch it. But I don't think Zack Snyder's ever made a great movie. He's made some okay ones. He's made some competent ones, but in my mind, all of his movies kind of lack soul. I can't think of a better way to put it. Like, they're glossy. They do great fight scenes. They slow-mo, the fast pace, the pew 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 bang bangs. But like, there's no depth. It's like they're all like a kiddie pool. Like, it'll cool you off, but like, you really just want a real pool.
and that's where I think, like I said, I think it really comes down to if you're a Snyder fan or not.
Yeah.
Like if this is your thing and you've been waiting for it. Like I went back and watched that extended version of Dawn of Justice just to see what it was about and see how much of it actually helped, that story. And I thought it helped a little bit. I mean, it wasn't a huge change, but again, I think it's whether or not you're anticipating that. Now, I agree with you about Superman though too. I mean, he definitely added a twist to Superman, which, I mean, if anybody's watched the show, they saw your discussion on Superman, and I mean. And that was the thing is like, a lot of Superman is not that way. I mean, he is, I would like to say he's a true superhero. I mean, that should be the definition of a superhero. He's not an anti-hero or any of those things. So he definitely did add a little bit of a twist to that. And there's a grittiness there. But I think for this cinematic universe, if you've been following it, that's where I've been. It's kind of like, all right, this is what we've been building up for. So I'm ready to see this thing unleashed, exactly how you wanted it. It's like, hey, you got time now. We've had several years in the making at this point. You want 4-hour movie? Give us 4-hour movie. I hope they deliver on it. And I hope that it's something that is, I mean, if it falls flat, then it's almost like that's it. I mean, this is going to be the nail in the coffin and you just call it a day.
I think that's fair. I mean, because I think they dropped about $70 million into this, once Warner Brothers agreed, because everybody was kind of pushing for a long time. Even the actors that were in the movie were kind of pushing for, the Snyder Cut or his vision of this to come out. And then they go back and they drop $70 million into it. So I'm kind of like you, Jeremy. If this doesn't hit or it's not, like, I like the first one. Okay, like if it comes on TBS or TNT, I generally watch it because I'm a superhero fan and I like the Justice League, but as far as, I don't know why their movies fall short because their animated stuff is so good. Like, do you guys agree with that? Taylor, do you think, because like their animated stuff is really good?
All the animated stuff I've watched, yeah, I haven't seen all of it, but yeah, and I think you touched on it, Remy. Like, I don't think Zack Snyder has a handle on the characters. Like, he made Batman into somebody shooting up people with machine guns and stuff, and I don't think you need to be a purist. I mean, I get characters change and stuff, but like, there's this core essence to each superhero that makes them their own individual hero. And I think the only one he got right in Dawn of Justice was Wonder Woman. And so I just don't think he understands the material that he's working with, and I don't think that's going to lead to a great end result. I will watch it. I mean, there better damn well be some Darkseid in there and not just what's his face, the other guy who's I can't remember the other villain. What's the villain's name?
Steppenwolf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they redid him so he looks like a little cheese grater now. Like it's fine, but like, you better have a big bad guy. And if you have 4 hours and you still mess this up, yeah, it's it. I mean, that's like, we all get the DC universe is done anyways because DC is just upset. They're a hot mess. They don't know what they're doing. But I'm much more looking forward to the Batman than I am this Dawn of remake of Snyder of Justice or whatever it's called. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I was going to say it did take me a while to jump on board with it. I mean, when I had heard that, um, that he was going to work on his own cut, it was like a lot of what I had heard was like, oh, they changed the background coloring, and it was like orange all of a sudden, and he had it in this like blue, and I was like, who cares? Like I didn't give a crap about that. But then when exactly what you said, like they start talking about Dark Side and everything, it's like, oh, okay, well, wait a minute. Now you're getting into the Justice League that I wanted to see, so maybe there is a little bit more to this, and it seemed like they were developing a story to add to it, and it was like I just didn't want it to be like flashier effects, which is kind of what I thought the route that they were going. And it's like, I don't need that. I don't need the filler. But I mean, if they're able to fit the story together a little bit, add a bit to, the front and the back end of this, it really I think has potential to do a lot of good. So.
I do too, because there were some of the fight scenes, as at the beginning when they were kind of explaining, kind of setting the story up with the mother boxes and things, where you got to see the Green Lanterns, you got to see, there were some things I thought that they really could have added to that movie, and I was trying to think if some of the other, things like Dark Side was the big one. It was that Dark Side was, there was a Dark Side. They filmed Dark Side. They, they did the whole thing, and then it was left out of the movie because they wanted to make the tone brighter, I guess, trying to chase Marvel, and what the MCU had been, had done in their movies with the kind of lighter tone. And I guess that's just the movie studios getting involved. So I'm hoping that proves, because I'm like you, Taylor. I think and you too, Jeremy, if they don't get this right, this is the nail in the coffin for, the DC universe. And Taylor's right in that they are a mess. Like they once, who owns them now? Like AT&T or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Some big, multi conglomerate owns them, and they're running it like it's a business for a profit, rather than putting out superhero content, to a bunch of nerds like us. So
that's true, man.
Yeah, I mean it is, and and because they're cutting the titles down, there's a lot of characters that I like. I like, I have found. I didn't realize this when I came back. I like the worst characters apparently, because I love Superman, I like Firestorm, and I like Hawkman, and none of those titles other than Hawkman really have much of a a run going other than Superman, obviously. So no, I'm just interested to see. So Taylor, what do you think the end result of this would be? Like if you had your crystal ball and you were like, okay, here's what's going to happen once this comes out. What do you think?
I think it's just going to be a shrug. I think people will watch it and be like, yeah, it was fine. I don't think it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be awful. I think it'll be better than Snyder's earlier stuff because he's had time to reflect, I'm hoping. But I don't think it's going to be revive anything or be phenomenal or have anything other than like a weekend where people talk about it. It'll be like the Wonder Woman 84 movie, which was also bad, but I think it'll just be like, okay. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope it'd be like, oh man, that's the best thing ever. Because I love superhero movies. I love the idea of them. I love all of them. I grew up on them, but like, I don't think this one's going to be it.
Yeah. What about you, Jeremy?
I'm more excited about this than I have been about a lot of other stuff. And I if I'm being honest, I actually lean a lot more Marvel than DC. However, I'm really excited for it. I feel like there's potential for a lot more holes than, talking about Darkseid alone. I feel like you really could dedicate a good movie into developing that. And so, even though I was still a fan of Dawn of Justice, it was, again, they fit so much into that. And I feel like this one, even with 4 hours, they might be really overstepping. and you can throw it in there and the fans will, we'll know what's going on. And then there's other people that are going to watch it and have no clue who the heck people are and what they're doing there and how they all fit together. And so that's where it's kind of, I guess it depends on how much you can sit through it and watch it and how much they're actually able to convey those messages in the 4 hours. So
right.
I'm hoping with that time that they have enough, but
it'll probably be 3.5 hours to put the team together.
Right. Yeah, then the last 30 minutes they'll have a fight,
Yeah.
and Darkseid's in there. No, as far as, I hope it turns out good. Like I said, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of even the Marvel, MCU. I just wanted it to be good because I don't necessarily want that to go away yet, and I don't know that it would revive anything. You know, I've read different things with Henry Cavill because I love him as Superman, and you know, if he would come back and they would continue, because you still got a Flash movie coming out, and then you've got, I think, another Aquaman coming out, and I would love to see them kind of bring it together, almost like Avengers, you know, Endgame, to where you ultimately ended up with a DC story like that. So, guys, I think that, you know, pretty well covers it. We're kind of running on our time here, but guys, let us know in the comments what you think. You know, are you excited for the Snyder Cut? Do you think it's going to be trash? You know, what do you think? And then, Taylor, what have you got going on? What are people going to see from you this week?
This week, well, let's see here. I should be doing a review of the first couple issues of Something Is Killing Children, finally.
Nice.
I got my weekly comic reviews coming up. I got a couple unboxings, the usual. So nothing too great. What about you, Remy?
I've been teasing everybody about a few Golden Age DC slabs that I have coming in, and I finally got one in. Weather worked in our favor. I finally got one in, so I'm going to have a big unboxing for that, and hopefully I'll have some more this week so I can do something with that as well.
Yeah, and Remy is the master of the green screen. Like, he did a whole homage video to DJ Lynx. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. When he goes over to the side, I've got a shelf over here, and drop that. I love that. That killed me. That was so good. It was so much fun. Yeah, it was so much fun. I loved it. Yeah, but if you're not, you know, subbed up to either one of these guys, go over and sub them up. You know, hit up their Instagrams. Taylor's got a really cool website you can go over and check out a lot of the art. Taylor's an artist, if you are not aware of that. He has a lot of art that he sells. There's a book. There's cool T-shirts. He's got one of them on today. Definitely go check him out. As far as I'm concerned, this week, got a couple unboxings, just some of the generic stuff, boxed heroes, and then I opened up a pile of that Spider-Man booth boxes. I've also got the Company Man Wink Inc. on 10 questions. That'll be on Thursday. And then, of course, I don't want you guys to forget, make sure you go over to the Street Level Hero LA website. Use the code STC10. You'll get 10% off your order. And the best part of this is 25% of your order will be donated to the American Cancer Society for cancer research. So make sure you use that code and go over to Street Level Hero LA. Pick something up. Shout out to JPG for, you know, kind of hooking that up. He's a very generous guy. And, you know, there you go. So, guys, again, let us know what you think. Sub us all up. Do all that good stuff. And as I like to end these, until next time.
Don't be a dick, I guess.
Yeah.